evening everyone and welcome to Coca-Cola Sports Scene. Over the weekend we had a couple of sporting events that happened. The grand finals at the Calgary Rugby League Oval, Fairfax Volleyball Grand Finals, and the Handball boys training at the High Performance Training Center.
Now on top of that, perhaps one of the biggest sporting events that happened was the Kumul's victory over Matema Tonga. All that and more on tonight's show, but first, here's a look at our weekend briefs. After a successful year as the 2014 CRU champions, the Defence Rugby Union Club held a club presentation to honour their players and the rest of the association. The recently appointed head coach of the PNG Pukpuks, Sydney Wesley, was commended for his efforts as head coach for the club in 2010 to 2014.
Just want to continue from last year. I know last year the performance where the boys ended up last year, I just want to improve on that. But I know it won't be easy. It's a challenging job. You're in the spotlight. You get critics for doing, selection and stuff. But then again, you got to back your decisions. You got to back what decisions you make.
Under his guidance, the Defence Men's Premier team have made it to 3 consecutive grand finals and have produced some of PNG's reputable rugby players. The Queensland PNG Rugby Union teams had a good start to the Kings and Queens of the Pacific Rugby Cup in Brisbane over the weekend. Given this was the first of its kind as a separate body from the PNG RFU, the QPNG RU formed both a men's and women's team to take on some of the Pacific's best in Queensland. The men's team, led by captain Nigel Genia, got trashed 22-5 against Cook Islands and was robbed of a win against the New Zealand Maoris, 12-7. The women's team was led by PNG Palai's captain Amelia Cook and was accompanied by former PNG Palai's Maluga Dixon, as well as Queensland women's rugby gun Melanie Kawa. The Queensland PNG RU women lost their first match to Niue 10-0, trashed Brisbane Fiji 19-7 and defeated the Cook Islands 15-0. Fourteen teams from across the city of Port Moresby took part in hard-hitting rugby league action over the weekend. 4 teams eventually making the finals, with Sharks going up against Vanagi in the Under-19 division and Koki Eels with Waraka. The Under-20 handball team will be leaving for Wellington, Auckland on Tuesday to take part in friendly matches. Handball is an Olympic sport and is a mix of basketball and soccer. The PNG Handball Federation is trying to introduce the sport to most schools in the country.
We're hoping that we can work with the education department to get handball as a curriculum sport, and that way, getting it officially recognized, we'll be able to deliver the handball in schools programs with the IHF, and we've set ourselves first quarter of next year or the second quarter during the school holidays to work with this school teachers and that to sort of skill them and give them the knowledge on handball and the rules and that, and provide them with the equipment so they can take it back to the schools and start teaching kids how to play handball.
Coming up after the break, we have the Fairfax Volleyball Grand Finals at the Mara Barracks courts.
Welcome back to the show. Now, Rafaela, you were over at the Fairfax Volleyball Grand Finals over the weekend. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, the under-21 Raukele playing with Sharks. Sharks are the new kids on the block, and they've finally won the grand finals, which is, they were happy about it. We had the A grade as well, the defending champs, the Hawks Freeway, and the women's premier, Raukele, took on University.
Well, it was really, really exciting to watch. Here are the highlights.
The Marlborough squads came alive with the final showdown of the 2014 Fairfax volleyball campaign. 12 teams made the final cut in all 3 divisions, including newcomers Sharks vying for the under-21 title. It was a fun-filled day with enthusiastic volleyball fans gathered to cheer their teams. In the women's under-21 division, Telecom thrashed Raukele 3-0, while in the men's playoff, newcomer Sharks proved their worth over Raukele 3-2.
Wannan santi mi play kim lo training up lo plan. Now mi play kam som lo. Kot mi play sim. Now grand final mi play som lo.
Hawks Freeway in Sky Blue were never better with a thrilling showdown over Raukele to retain the title. Raukele were calm, cool and collective in the second set, but were denied in the remaining set, as Hawks Freeway walked out winners with 3-2. In the women's premier division, it was a sisterly affair with Raukele in Maroon and University. Raukele outfit fired up right from the start, taking on the first set. The University were not able to level the scores as they succumbed 3-0 at the final whistle. Captain Philo Amesa described the win as timely and well-deserved.
We prepared to win this grand final because since 2 years we've been going through the finals, but we lost. So this year we wanted to win it, so we made it sure and we won the grand final.
It was another Raukele victory as they beat Patriots 3-1 in the men's premier division. The winning teams from each division were presented with trophies.
Well, from the indoor version to the beach version, and the PNG Amoa beach volleyball team is preparing to leave to go to Hong Kong, and we caught up with their coach, Marty Collin.
Okay, so we have a women's team, Hazel Ruger and Di John, who are off to Hong Kong tomorrow. They've been training really hard all year. This is the first overseas trip for this year for the beach volleyball teams. So they've been playing 3 or 4 times a week, and 2 times a week they've been coming in here to the High Performance Training Centre to work on their fitness levels. There'll be some other events coming up. This event in Hong Kong is part of the Asian Beach Volleyball Tour, so it'll be the best teams from all over Asia competing. It's the Asian version of the World Tour. So there'll be some teams that would be current Olympians. I know there's some very good Australian teams that will be there, and Thai teams and Chinese teams. So the level of competition will be quite high. So it'll be a really good test of where the ladies are at. And then next month, middle of next month, PNG is sending 2 men's and 2 women's teams down to Manly Beach in Sydney to compete in the Oceania Championships, and also the phase 1 of the Oceania qualification for the Olympics. So for this competition there'll be 24 teams from all over Asia. I haven't seen the team list yet, but I do know of a few. Australia will definitely have the two strong teams, as I previously said. So it'll be a quality field and it'll be a good test for us. For the Oceania Championships, it's been organised quite late. It was going to be in Fiji, and then that fell through, and then Australia put their hand up to host it. But it's really exciting because there's 14 countries from around Oceania competing, and then another 10 countries that are going for Olympic qualification. So four countries are already through to the second round, and we'll hopefully get through to the second round after this tournament. So at the moment, the training squad has been cut down to 6 girls. So there's been 6 girls who have been training really hard and improving. And at the moment, there's 4 guys. So in beach volleyball, it's you play with a partner. So there's just 2 of you. and we'll have to name one team for Pacific Games for next year. So each country is only allowed one team for Pacific Games, so it's going to be some really, really hard selections before July next year. So I'm heading to Hong Kong tomorrow along with Alex Skimmer, who's the head coach of the women's beach volleyball, and Tino Saraman, who's the manager for beach volleyball. So myself, Alex and Tino will really be using this trip as practice for ourselves as coaches and managers as well, and we'll put in place some things that we'll start doing as a program. So we'll be taking statistics, we'll have full in-depth game plans for each opponent we come up against, and we'll be doing video review of all our matches. We'll also get probably 4 or 5 practice matches in against some of the other teams before the tournament starts, so we'll really make the best of the week over there.
Coming up after the break, the Kumuls' victorious win in Lae.
Welcome back to the show. Well, with the Kumuls' victory yesterday, it was good to note that a lot of preparation had gone into that well-deserved victory. This story taken from MTV's Sylvester Gawi in Lae.
The Papua New Guinea Kumuls, comprising mostly interest Super Cup players from the PNG Hunters, will be the favourites when they take on the Tongans this Sunday at the Lae Rugby League ground. To be led by Mark Mexico, Thompson Tete, Dion Haye and Israel Eliab, the Kumuls are keen on defeating the Tongans at home soil. Coach Malmeninga says he is seeing a lot of commitment from his players during training after a hard-fought encounter against the Australian Prime Minister's Stettin last weekend.
The commitment from the Kumuls on Sunday was fabulous, against the best team in the world who had 8 or 10 of their players playing in the Australian Four Nations side. So, again, if people are criticising our effort, they need a shot in the arm and a bit of a jab of reality, because I think the amount of what I've seen an improvement in the Kumuls from last year to this year has been enormous, and they should be praised for it.
Dion Haye is the only player in the Kumuls camp that has experience playing against the Tongans in 2009 during the Pacific Cup. However, the Tongans are no easy defeats with bulk of the players from the National Rugby League in Australia. Meninga says he is happy to have our boys playing against a strong Tongan side.
They're very generally physically aggressive all the time. They love their rugby league in Tonga. They are representing their nation, and they'll play to their potential. So we're expecting a very, very hard game.
Since arriving in Lae yesterday, the Kumuls have been hard at training at the Lae Rugby League grounds. Today, the team had a day off in which they visited patients at the Engau Memorial Hospital. They have also visited Lae Rugby League President Russ Kaupa at his hospital bed at the Engau Hospital. Papua New Guinea and Tonga both have strong passion for rugby league in the country, and this game will give a lot of international exposure for most of the young and promising footballers. For PNG, it is a country which holds rugby league at heart. It's got this game to deliver a win for its thousands of followers nationwide. Likewise, for the Tongans, a win over the Kumuls will prove their worth of being a rugby league playing nation. PNG coach Malmeninga is no stranger to the rugby league scene. The Queensland player and coach had seen serious commitment in the Kumuls camp since last week. He is overwhelmed with the improvement the team has been through compared to previous years.
I just want to see a similar effort and attitude to what we displayed last week. The players are playing with great passion for their country, and I was very proud of the way they played last week against extremely strong Australian side who...
Following the captain's run this morning, there were no major injuries being reported in the camp as the Kumuls look solid and ready to face the Tongans. Mark Mexico and Willie Minoga will lead the Kumuls in the fronts, while Dion Haye, Roger Laka and Thompson Tete are expected to direct ball traffic from the centre.
It won't change much from the starting lineup we had last week. We just got a few niggly injuries at the moment. We're still monitoring, but everyone's making great progress, and we'll make some solid decisions tomorrow morning. So, we just want to give them a bit more rest to see how they recover.
The Tongans, however, are confident to take on the Kumuls. Brisbane Broncos assistant coach and current Tonga Mate Maha coach Christian Wolf is looking for a win over the Kumuls. With the inclusion of Penrith's Sikamanu and Broncos' David Hala, the Tongans will be no easy defeats for the Kumuls.
We're going to start with Ignatius Passy and Penny Turapo up front, and Joel Awani will be our hooker. Our captain Sikamanu and vice captain Akumatai will be on the edges as back rowers, and Ben Murdoch and Masilo will block the scrum. In the halves we'll have Daniel Foster and Sam Sanilangi. In the centres we'll have Azapali Fanay and Solomoni Kata, and on the wings we'll have Vai Tautai and Bill Tupou, and fullback will be Tony Sasini.
The Tongans have settled in well in Lae since arriving on Wednesday and have been looking forward for the big game tomorrow. Unlike Papua New Guinea, a win in tomorrow's game will drive more support towards the development of rugby league in the Pacific Island nation of Tonga.
Both teams are going to be physical, both teams are going to be aggressive, both teams are going to play with lots of passion, lots of pride, and both teams are going to want to win and want to win really badly.
Meanwhile, both teams have called for more support from the people of Lae, especially rugby league followers, to get behind their team and support in a respectful manner. While many rugby league supporters will be cheering behind the Kumuls, the Tongan coach believes die-hard NRL fans will also get behind their favourite players in the Tongan side.
Well, again, I'd hope that all the Broncos fans come down and support us tomorrow. Obviously, myself and Dave Huller are both from the Broncos, and I hear that the Broncos are very well supported up here. So I'd love to meet a few Broncos fans tomorrow.
The game will kick off at 2 p.m. However, gates will be open at 9 a.m. for supporters to get merchandises for the teams.
As a result of the good preparation, the PNG Kumuls had a great 32-18 win over Matema Tonga in the International Rugby League test, which was held over in Lae. Alex Wera and Gary Lowe both scored doubles as hooker Wartova Puara scored the final try with a runaway from centre field.
The Papua New Guinea Kumuls opened the scoreboard about 2 minutes into the game with winger Hadex Wera scoring far out on the touch. Rhys Martin converted for the Kumuls to took an early lead at 6 points to nil. The Tongans retaliated with 3 unconverted tries to take over the lead from the Kumuls at 12 points to 6. With about a minute to go before halftime, Gary Lowe went in for a centre try which was converted successfully by Israel Eliab right on halftime. Both teams were tied at 12-all. In a man of the match performance, Gary Lowe led the Kumuls in both defense and attacks throughout the 80 minutes of the game. And yes, he was the man of the match.
Australian blood rampias kun blobat. Ja, plantin blom mangin blak get experience na. Slag game blood training lu food. Bluk pest ni teamwork na miada want the man of the match na mi master.
For coach Malmeninga, the win over the Tongans was sweet, despite certain ball handling errors in the first half. Wartowo Puara was the best and fairest in the field, according to coach Malmeninga. Meninga is also adamant that there are more opportunities for young Kumuls to fly.
Very pleased with the way they've improved the last 12 months, and I know we can get better too as well. So, but very happy with the defence.
The Tongans, however, put on an excellent defence for the Kumuls forward pack. A seemingly minor errors in the defence gave way for PNG's Gary Lowe and Hadex Vera to score their doubles, while Thompson Tete and Wartowo Puara score one each for the Kumuls to win. The win ends a successful year for the PNG Rugby League as players look forward to the 2015 Digicel Cup, Intra Super Cup in Queensland, and other sanctioned tournaments in preparation for the 2017 World Cup.
Coming up after the break, we have the PNG Athletics Union naming their development squad for the Pacific Games in 2015.
Athletics Union named the development squad for the 2015 Pacific Games.
36 male and 28 female athletes have been selected both for track and field events.
And a really good start.
Sprint queen Toya Whistle is on the top of the list after a thrilling performance at the recent Glasgow Commonwealth Games. She'll join forces with US-based athletes Sharon Kwarula, national record holder for the 100-meter adults and 400-meter adults, and 400-meter specialist Betty Brewer. Athletics PNG Secretary Philip Redder said the final team and selection are still open to any athletes who meet the required performance. There are opportunities for those from the development squad to make it into the elite squad, and PNG Games is where they will prove their worth. Redder said the Pacific Games squad consists mostly of established members of the national team and those on the fringe. The squad will be reviewed after the PNG Games next month. Athletics PNG also moved to reassure young athletes that they are not being overlooked. Redder said the Athletics PNG has taken note of many good performances this year, and a junior development squad would soon be named. At the moment, the Athletics PNG's priority is the Pacific Games, as well as the junior development programs.
And finally, the Nawane Football Association in Kiunga had their second ever grand finals with the under-20s, the women's and the men's all playing. In the men's under-20 and men's Division 1 final, Tusix edged out RK United 3-2 in a penalty shootout, while in Division 1, Some FC defeated Nupmo by the same scoreline. In the Premier Women final on Sunday, Nupmo FC proved a tough matchup for the defending champions Y2 Mates, holding them off 2-1 also in a penalty shootout. The scores had been locked at 2-2 by the end of extra time, but Nupmo managed to pull through 2 goals in the shootout to come away with the win. For the men's final, RK United FC came to the party with a hard-fought 3-2 grand final win over defending champions Namates from the penalty shootout after a 2-2 draw by the end of extra time. Favourites Namates was blown off the park as RK United scored 2 quick goals in the first half and managed to put up a strong defence to hold off Karu Philly's coach side till the halftime whistle. Mates coach Kari Allen Philly said he was happy with the result, even though his boys were not able to retain back the cup, but promised to come back next season stronger to win it back.
It was a good game. The boys tried their very best and we came out as good losers, but we hope so when we come out next year we'll come strong and hard, and we hope that we will get a seal back.
He said RK United had been a better team throughout the season and also had been runners-up last season and deserved the ultimate prize.
That's it from us now from Coca-Cola Sports Scene team.
Now a reminder that if you'd like us to cover your stories, it's very easy. Just send us an email to sports@emtv.com.pg. You can find us on Facebook and go online to the MTV website. From us here, Rafaela, great to be here again. Good night.
Good night.